What is going on, guys? It's your boy Maharos, and we're back with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about everything Bitcoin. And guys, a lot of things have happened since last month, and it's pretty insane. Okay, in literally just a month, guys, the price has absolutely went on a tear. In my oh my, guys, you cannot ignore such price action taking us so high, right? Guys, if you just try to do a breakdown of exactly what has happened here, I mean, you know, we just went on an absolute tear. There's just no way around it except just saying, damn, right? And right now we are at this 3 week supply zone, so it is a resistance. And the last time we were here, actually, it was at around this level, and we saw a nice, retracement. I spoke about how at this area specifically, the high was taken, the low was taken, and I believe that there was going to be a push to the upside, and I always speak about how price chops up. And if you go back to the last month's video, I specifically talk about how if the price is chopping up like it is right here, then one can assume that it's probably going to break down, right? And which it following does. But if you were to look at price action that goes like this, completely vertical, then of course you're going to change your bias. That's literally what trading is about. We're not here, again, to only make predictions, but we're reactionary as well. At least I am, right? If I see clear breakout, right? You have 1, 2 candles breaking above, consolidating above the 6 month supply zone, and then another massive candle. I think this set the record for a monthly candle, again, for February. It is just absolutely phenomenal, and we're probably going to see all-time highs even get hit. And it wouldn't surprise me that price continues to chop at this level, but this is a big zone as well, the same way the 6 month supply zone was. We saw a wick. Right now I do believe the 3 week supply zone, and if you look here at the 3 week, you'll see a order block there, acting as a resistance like it is right now. Of course, this may be the last point of resistance. And should we go to new all-time highs, this will be a level that, again, you got to watch out for. So it's just insane, right? And if we are to pull down from this level, we're probably gonna see a retracement there. And if we do, as the statement there says, long this shit, because again, this is a 1 week supply or 1 week demand zone where price is most likely going to bounce out of, should we get a bounce off of this level. So again, it's a game of patience, and I do think that this level is very interesting, but we'll see how it plays out, because at the end of the day, like I said, the momentum right now behind Bitcoin is very strong, and I don't expect it to slow down just yet until we see choppy price action. I also want to talk about Bitcoin dominance, guys. This is a very interesting chart here. Basically, it's mimicking the early signs of 2021, where we saw, of course, a big wick like we're seeing now. Again, this looks like to me distribution. I've said this before, I'll say it again. This choppy sideways price action looks like some type of distribution. RSI is also breaking down. I don't know if it's resetting, but again, this can completely, go back up to 57% to make new all-time highs, because of course, some people are under the impression that Bitcoin is going to make, new all-time highs of 100K plus. I am at a point where I don't think, I'm basically neutral, okay? Like, Bitcoin may go to 120,000, right? But realistically, a lot of us are not really longing Bitcoin because altcoins have bigger gains. And at the same time, we like to dictate and watch out for Bitcoin because we know that Bitcoin itself is the king of the market. No matter how you like to spend it, Bitcoin is a king. And should we continue to reclaim dominance, this is the next level of resistance that will probably be knocked out on at around 57.9% or 57.19, whatever you want to call it. And again, if this isn't the top for Bitcoin, right, we'll probably see this start rolling over, right? Like, this is a very telltale sign that if this falls over, we'll probably see this breakdown. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this rotates down. If it does, again, it's possible that I'm completely incorrect, but it's very important that, again, we watch Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance helps us understand what Bitcoin is doing, right? Same way how we watched it over here in 2021, broke down, went sideways, and then continued to fall down as alts took the lead. Now, of course, Bitcoin is never going to reclaim 73% dominance because other coins are going to continue being created, and Bitcoin can only claim so much of the market. But at the end of the day, people still rotate into, Bitcoin for the most part. And if you're asking yourself why I will never reclaim such high dominance, even like 96%, it's because back in the day, stable coins didn't exist, right? So if you were trading long enough in this market, you'll know one thing, that stablecoins never existed. So that's kind of the reason why the dominance was so high, and it's continuing to fall more and more every single cycle. So that's the simple reason. And again, it'd be very interesting to see how this plays out. And again, basically it's, very interesting because there's many scenarios here. This may be some type of distribution schematic, and we may just continue falling. If we fall, again, we'll know next month. And this is why I do this monthly update, guys, is because I like to keep my bias in order. I don't want to fall into the FOMO because right now the market is absolutely on a tear. When we look at total, guys, this is just insanity, right? On X, I've been actually talking about this for a while, even way back when we were consolidating back over here in August of 2022. I was saying that we're going to consolidate and then pretty much reclaim like we have, like I've shared over and over again each month, which we're seeing now a very nice expansion off the low. And I do think that this is going to be the next resistance point at 2.27 trillion or 2.57 trillion dollars. So this is just absolutely insane. And again, we'll probably see some slowdown up here, but it's going to take some more time to play out. And another thing I want to talk about is actually going to be dominance here for stable coins, okay? And why does this matter for Bitcoin? It's a bunch of indicators. You combine them all together, you have different things being pointed to in the market. And this is very clear that, this may continue playing out, right? We broke out of this long channel. We see a very clear breakout, and we're continuing to fall. Now, technically speaking, we are literally falling like crazy right now. Do we reclaim this low? Like, does Bitcoin come back up here? Because that's not really a good sign. That can technically indicate that the bottom or the top is in right now, right? Because that's the same thing that happened back over here. But at the same time, if we keep breaking down, that's actually not too shabby either. But again, I'm just pointing this out simply because as Bitcoin is like literally on a rampage, I mean, one can safely assume that this is going to keep breaking down. And, we can even fall as low as like, I want to say the next level of support, which is around 5.29. Like, this is not a bad level to see some sort of bounce take place, right? So we'll see what happens. This is technically the next level because of this weekly demand zone. And of course, you do have volume being traded across. I'm sure if you actually pull over the volume profile at this level, you can see that there's a lot of peaks here, which are, low volume nodes, which again indicate a support. And of course, the high volume nodes on the top end are levels that can act as a resistance. So again, this is probably going to act as some sort of support literally right now. So we'll see what happens. And again, I'm going to monitor this week over week like I've been talking about. I mean, guys, you can never look at too many indicators, especially when you're trying to come to a conclusion about something when they're all directly correlated, right? I mean, guys, looking at total, seeing the market wants to go higher, looking at stablecoin dominance, people are still rotating out of stables, and looking at dominance, like, you can safely assume that, again, the market is still trending. People are still trading in crypto for the most part. And we are approaching a resistance because you can definitely see that here on total 3 for altcoins. This is, again, the, 2-month supply zone or 2-month supply zone up here at this blue box. We're definitely getting ready to run into resistance. And this matters for Bitcoin because, again, the money rotates out of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is pulling back, so is the whole market, right? Bitcoin is the king of the market, and that's just the name of the game. You can't stop it. You can't control it. And, that's just how everything works out. So, I had this one scenario for BLX. I just want to share it with you guys. And I think it's absolutely shattered now because if Bitcoin does break above the high up here, this can technically turn into a running flat, right? So you're probably saying, Mo, how can a price break all-time highs and then turn into a running flat or a correction? And basically, if you Google a running flat photo, you'll see that pretty much the price goes higher, but then it comes back way lower before it continues going higher. But again, it is very interesting. That means this whole count would have to be redone. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked, on how it's going to play out. But this idea, for the most part, is invalidated, and it is pretty interesting to see this play out. But we're going to need more data. I don't really have a clear count. And a lot of people try to, make conclusions on certain things when they don't need to, right? And right now, again, I understand that this chart has pretty much invalidated the idea for a zigzag, but it may turn into a running flat, and that is going to be something that I'm going to watch out for. It's something I'm going to continue to update you guys on as pretty much Bitcoin is on a rampage to the upside here. So with that, I appreciate you guys for making it to the end. Like and sub if you haven't already. And as always, hodl, hodl, hodl. Peace.